Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about a new form of linear equations, and that is called a point-slope form. So we've already done a lot of work with slope-intercept form, but now we're going to work with point-slope form. That's just another way that we can represent our linear equations. And what point-slope form is, it is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So here m is still my slope, just like it was before. And now I have this y1 and I have this x1, and that's just going to be a given point that we have. And so we'll use this form a lot when we're just given the slope and a point to find the equation of the line. So let's go through an example where we first want to write the equation of the line in point-slope form. So for number 1, I'm given that my slope m is -3, and I'm given the point f of 2 is equal to -1. And so remember, that's really the same thing as 2, -1. Now I'm going to write this in point-slope form. So I have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Well, my y1 and x1 are given my point, so my x1 is 2, and my y1 is -1. And so now when I plug in my m, my x1, and my y1, I get y minus y1, which is -1, is equal to m, which is -3, times x minus x1, which is 2. And then lastly, I'm just going to go ahead and simplify this left-hand side. When I subtract a negative, I'm really adding a positive. And so this would be the equation of my line in point-slope form. Let's try another one. So this one I have m equals 6/7, and I have the point 0, -4. I'm going to label my x1 and y1 first. And then I want to write this in point-slope form. So I'm going to first plug in my y1, so I have y minus a -4 is equal to m, which is 6/7, times x minus x1, which is 0. Now I'll simplify this left-hand side, so I have y plus 4 is equal to x minus 0 is just going to be x, so on the right-hand side I just have 6/7 x. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try and do number 3 on your own. When you think you have it, go ahead and press play. So the answer you should have gotten for number 3 was y plus 2 is equal to 2/3 x plus 9. So that was when we want to write it in a point-slope form, but now we're going to do the same thing for the start, but this time I want you to write it in slope-intercept form. So that means we're just going to have to take our steps a little bit further. So for this first one, I have that m is equal to 5, and I have f of 3 is equal to -1. And so f of 3 equals -1, that's the same thing as the point 3, -1. So that means that my x1 is 3 and my y1 is -1. And I'm going to start with writing it in point-slope form. So we did a similar process to this when in our last lesson, where I had the slope and a point and I put it in my slope-intercept formula. But now I'm going to show you a different way using the point-slope formula. So plugging in, I have y minus -1, which is really y plus 1, is equal to m, which is 5, times x minus x1, which is 3. And now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this so that it is in y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to start with distributing my 5. So I have y plus 1 is equal to 5 times x, which is 5x, minus 5 times 3, which is 15. And now to get the y by itself, I'm just going to subtract 1 from both sides. And so I get that y is equal to 5x minus 16. So I first put it in point-slope form, and then I just simplify this and solve for y to get y equals 5x minus 16. Okay, let's try another one. So here I have m equals 1/2, and I have the point -4, 0. So I'm going to start with labeling my x1 and y1. And so I have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Well, my y1 here is 0. M is 1/2. And I want to do minus -4, which is really just plus 4. And now this one, it's actually going to be a little bit easier because y minus 0, I just get y, so I already have y by itself on the left-hand side. And I'm going to go ahead and just distribute this 1/2. So 1/2 times x, I get 1/2 x, plus 1/2 times 4, I get 2. Okay, trying this next one. F of 7 equals 2 is the same thing as the point 7, 2. So that means that my x1 is 7, my y1 is 2. So I have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I'll go ahead and plug in all of my information. So I have y minus y1, which is 2, is equal to m, which is 0, times x minus x1, which is 7. So I have y minus 2 is equal, well, 0 times x is 0, 0 times -7 is 0. So all I get on the right-hand side is 0. Now add 2 to both sides, and I get that y is equal to 2. So that one was a little bit interesting. I had the slope of 0, and remember with Hoyle, that means that it's going to be y equals some number. Another similar special case to that is if I instead had m equals undefined. Then remember that's going to be my vux, that's my vertical line, because my u stands for undefined. So it'd be x equals some number. And so that means it's just going to be whatever x is equal to in my point. And so if this said undefined slope, my equation would be x equals 7, because that's the x coordinate in my point. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to go ahead and try number 4 on your own. When you think you have it, press play. So the answer you should have gotten for number 4 was y equals -3/4 x minus 9.